Practical Education Network has organized an event to raise the awareness of science and technology among young people in the country. The event, which took place at the Museum of Science and Technology in Accra, saw some young people who went through the training. Speaking at the event, Madam Elizabeth says science and technology is very important and believes technology will help bridge the gap between the past and the future.
Here in the Museum of Science and Technology, we have thrown more light, bridging the gap upon our past and our present with modernity. This is the best place you can ever be during your weekend at your leisure time. It's not only about fun, but it is about learning. It's about getting to know who you are in the eyes of science textbooks.
An assistant creator in Museum of Science and Technology. And this morning we are privileged to tour the transportation section in the Museum of Science and Technology. So here I have a 4-cylinder water-cooled vertical aeroplane engine. This one was made by the Wright brothers in 1906, and they used it first in 1912, from 1911 to 1912, to tow and then move the first aircraft. This one is a model of the jet engine, and this one works on Newton's third law. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. We enable the students to understand that there are 4 forces that act on a jet when it is moving upwards. It is the weight, the thrust, and the drag. We also have a wooden bicycle. This wooden bicycle was made by a 10-year-old boy called Wisdom Tohla. Wisdom Tohla was then a student of AME Zion School, Mankori. So he wanted a means of transport to go to school. So he made this bicycle having 85% wood and then 15% metal and then plastic. Now, this section are made of metal. We have this section made of rubber. It has the wooden chopper bike seat with a light behind it. This was where he was putting his books whenever he was going to school. He had a nickname called Champion, and this is Champion. This is the only bicycle you can see on earth with a number plate, and the number plate is called the ball. It will amaze you to know that this bicycle have a wooden tie with a plastic covering on it. We also have the model of the river ship was made by the Japans in 1965. So the Black Star Line Company Limited now took charge and then shipped our real beer river ship to Temahabo from 1982 to 1984. We can also talk about our model of armor car. This armor car was made by our 18-year-old mechanic called Watson. Watson did it in the 1980s. Now, during the 1980s, there was an industrial and technological fair that Tech 88. At that time, we had President Rawlings being present. So after the tour, he donated this armor car to our late President Rawlings. He also donated it to the Museum of Science and Technology. This armor car have a 7-seater. So we have 3 people sitting on this side, 3 people sitting on the other side, and the driver itself. It is a working model, actually. We also have natural rubber, and this natural rubber is from Ghana Rubber Estates Limited. As we all know, the natural rubber is extracted from trees, and it is extracted, it is machine milled, it is air dried and compressed into milk. We can say that the natural rubber can be used for a lot of purposes. Inclusive is the first Firestone tie that was made in Ghana. And so this is the first ever Firestone tie that was made in Ghana. So it was made by the Firestone Company Limited. Some people call it the Bonsa ties in Tapa Iswaye. So the company was established in 1963. In 1968, they brought the first tie to the Museum of Science and Technology. We have a differential azole here. The differential azole was made by Onisifor Paquet in 1827. He made it because, as at that time, only one tie could move. So he wanted the means whereby 2 ties can move. So he placed the differential azole in between the 2 ties, and then he was able to make 2 back ties to move.
And so we can see it in this rover car. And so with this rover car, you can see the differential axle assembled by the two ties. You can see the shaft, you can see the engine, the pedals. And this rover car was made on a Jeep chassis. Now, it was brought to Ghana, it was brought to Museum of Science and Technology by the United African Company. The first person to make this rover car is called Maurice Fuchs in 1947. He brought it for a workshop at the University of Ghana so that people will know how cars are made. And this one inspires our students a lot to go into making of cars since we are in the modern age. So we are now waiting for the first Ghanaian to fly a bipolar car. We also have the traction engine, which is on our compound. The traction engine works with the steam. Now, it has coal inside that vaporizes the steam. As the steam moves the traction engine, it can power other machines. It can be used to move heavy loads as well. This traction engine was first made in 1859 by Thomas Aveline. And you can see this is so powerful. We also have pictures of the road shakers, okay, and then the government transport system as well in this side. Oh, it will really amaze you to know that we had a double-decker bus before. That was at Kumasi Swami. We also have the aeroplane type, the first aeroplane type in 1998. In 1898, this is the first aeroplane type that was made. It was made by Frank Silgren from Tokyo. Yes, they make ties. It's a company called Goodyear Company. The Goodyear Company makes ties for a lot of purposes. They make ties for cars, bicycles, aeroplanes, and for other purposes as well. In Apollo 17 in 1972, the Black Americans went to the moon. They took 135 countries' flag to the moon, including our Ghana flag. And so, when they went, they brought to Ghana a piece of the moon rock, and the moon rock is the black stone in the ball. We can say it, and it was under the leadership of the then president Richard Nixon. We also have amazing space foods in the museum. These space foods were made by the Russians. If you are going to space, you cannot carry heavy foods like banku, like tuozafi, but then you can carry processed foods. Now the processed foods are foods that make you wait. They make you weightless so that you can stay in space for long. So when you take small of this, in days you will not be hungry. So we have the soup, processed chocolate, processed table bread, which are very handy. We also have Sputnik. Sputnik 1 is a model of the first Earth satellite that was launched by the Soviet Union. It has gone around the Earth at an orbit of 1,440 orbits and at a kilometer of 70 million kilometers. So it was launched exactly 10:29 Moscow time PM. Later on in January 1950, we can also talk about our spacecraft. So we have a life-size model of an astronaut inside our spacecraft. And so when one is going to space, that is how an astronaut is positioned in the spacecraft. So with the theodolite, during our mid-16th century, the surveyors were using the theodolite to measure horizontal and vertical angles on planes, and this is our theodolite. Important exhibit in the wildlife section of the Museum of Science and Technology. Here is a picture of pangolin. Pangolin are known to be in the forest and the savanna areas. They can weigh between 4.4 pounds or 4.7 pounds. Pangolins have a lot of scales on their bodies, and their scales look like our fingernails. Pangolin, as you are seeing it, it is holding on to the tail of the mother pangolin. The mother pangolin has a very long tail. Pangolins are nocturnal animals, and they like eating a
of insects. We also have different pictures of monkeys. These pictures is as a result of research done by WACA because our monkeys are getting extinct. We also have a red baby crocodile from Nigeria. It is a real crocodile that has been preserved, so we can say it is a taxidermized crocodile. Then we have a buffalo. We have a buffalo. This buffalo is a donation from Botswana. It is also real and it has been preserved. Then this is a waka. Some people call it the bush pig. The bush pig has the long protruded teeth. It is very dangerous. As we see the bush pig, we can see the real scar of a bush pig here. And so that is its long protruded teeth. Continuing with the pictures, we have pictures of antelope here, different types of antelope. We can also talk about the elephants. Now, with the elephants, we also have the real elephant skull here. We have different types of elephants, but this one is an African elephant. An African elephant is a very huge elephant. Its skull alone can weigh up to 52 kilograms. Then the elephant itself, it can live up to between 60 to 70 years if nothing terminates its life. This one is the lower jawbone of the African elephant. The African elephant, when it is young, has incisors on its front teeth. As it grows, the incisors change to molars. In its lifetime, the African elephant have 24 molars. As it grows older, the molars begin to fall off. When the last teeth of the African elephant falls off, it starves till it dies. We can also talk about the horn of the antelope. And this is a special type of horn of an antelope. Special type of horn of an antelope. This is also the upper jawbone of a whale. We remember very well. The whale that swallowed Jonah. This particular whale died at Accra Beach in 1981. And so we are privileged to have only the upper jawbone. We have different types of whale. This particular one is the sperm whale. Sperm whale is known not to have teeth in its upper jaw. So this one has been turned upside down. You can see a picture of the sperm whale in the ocean, and you can see a full picture of it. So that's the head, the scalp, and the full picture of it there. We can now also get to the ocean. You can see red marine fishes. All these fishes are real. They have been preserved. They are dead. They are not alive. Some are very rare. So we have the bigi or motorfish that belongs to the lobster family. Continuing, we have the tobacco pipe fish. The tobacco pipe fish, as you can see, it has the shape of a tobacco pipe. We also have the starfish. We have different types of starfish, and this is the most simplest starfish you can ever find. This one is a spadefish. The spadefish has the shape of a globe. We also have our common emule, the one we've been enjoying with our kenke at all times. Science and technology is very, very important for our future. Also, the future is very, very important for science and technology. The Museum of Science and Technology is the best place we can bridge the gap between the past and the future. And here in the Museum of Science and Technology, we have thrown more light, bridging the gap upon our past and our present with modernity. This is the best place you can ever be during your weekend at your leisure time. It's not only about fun, but it is about learning. It's about getting to know who you are in the eyes of science perspective.